Guys, we have an urgent information coming out. US ally scrambles jet against Russian nuclear bombers. Wow. Alright, give me a second here, guys. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. I really appreciate the love and support. So Japanese fighter jets were scrambled as Russian military aircraft, including bombers capable of carrying nuclear weapons, flew close to the United States allies' airspace. Japan's defense ministry said it will continue to ensure full preparedness to protect the country's territory and citizens. Once again, the Russian defense ministry confirmed the incident, saying its Tu-95 MS bombers conducted a routine flight within international airspace. Now, these are the bombers that is being used in Ukraine, all right? So these Tu-95 MS bombers are the real deal, all right? So it was seen near Japan. So they are sounding the alarm now, guys. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19. Number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to help and support the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also the description box. Thank you again for your support. Your support truly helps out. Thank you so much. This video notification was not sent out. Many of you did not receive the notifications. YouTube only sent out 3. But again, you guys already know I post videos around this time, so like in the afternoon. So again, just be aware that I'm posting videos around this time. So it says here you have Russia has been signaling its military strength in the country's Far East region through deployment of aircraft and vessels, alarming Japan, which has described the moves as posing a strong security concern. In addition to Moscow's strategic ties with China, Japan hosts about 60,000 U.S. troops in return for Washington's security guarantees. At least 4 B-1B bombers that are not nuclear armed were deployed to Japan earlier this month, which the U.S. military said was intended to reinforce stability in the region. That is crazy. We have 60,000 U.S. soldiers out there in Japan. 60,000. And I think South Korea, there's 29,000. All right. So again, it's to train, exercise, and also to protect their allies. But that's a big number there. 60,000. Let's say something happens to Japan. I mean, catastrophic event or war. We are praying for the 60,000 soldiers out there. Breaking news: the U.S. president arrives in Tokyo for the second stop of his Asia tour. So he's out there. He's doing some business, tariff deals and stuff like that. The deployment of Russian bombers comes just days ahead of U.S. Okay, so they did this knowing that Trump is going to be there. They're really sending a message to Trump. They're really sending a message to Trump. The deployment of the Russian bombers comes just days ahead of U.S. commander visit to Japan on Monday, where he is scheduled to meet the country's first female prime minister, as both leaders aim to strengthen the alliance. You know what Putin is saying? You flew that B-1 bomber in Alaska over me. Now I'm sending my Tu-95 bombers over you. Let me just play this, guys. Let me play this. Give me 1 second. Here we go. All right, let me just play this video here.
Again, the President of the United States at 5:10 p.m. Tokyo time, 4:10 a.m. our time, walking down the steps ready to greet the leaders there in Tokyo. And as we await the president's huge week in Asia, how can Trump use this first face-to-face with the Japanese prime minister to navigate, obviously, the thorny issue of tariffs while reassuring that prime minister of our commitment to remain a bulwark to China?
Well, this meeting actually is very important for setting the tone for subsequent meetings here, because as you stated, the Japanese and the Americans have an alliance that really underpins the American presence, I'd say the free world's presence in Asia. And this is his first meeting with Prime Minister Takaichi, and it's good that they get off on the right foot, and I think they will. The Japanese are doing more for their own defense than they've ever done. They're increasing spending, and they understand that they need to do something about the trade relationship. So I expect the Japanese are going to announce that they're going to buy a whole lot of American energy, maybe American soybeans. As for the F-150s, I don't know about that.
Yeah, Colonel, East Asia is not an area of the world that is top of mind for Americans on a day-to-day basis. So what could this trip mean for us back here at home?
Well, actually, East Asia is of great importance to the United States. It probably should be at the top of the mind, because we've got China, which is out to dominate us, ultimately out to destroy us. Xi Jinping has actually said that one of these two systems is going to survive, and it's not going to be ours. So this meeting and this good relationship that we can get started with the Japanese and with some other countries here is going to very much affect people in the United States. The Chinese have been very clear about their intentions. They always telegraph their punches, and it is an adversarial relationship. Maybe we don't recognize it now, but we will soon enough.
Let's get some specifics on that point, Colonel. What is Xi Jinping watching for specifically in this meeting, in this week of talks, while President Trump is over there, specifically today's talks with the Prime Minister of Japan?
Okay, so once again, that's the U.S. commander in Japan. One thing I've noticed, there was no red carpet. Usually, you got the allies put the red carpet and stuff like that for the respect for the commander. There was no red carpet there. Yeah, so he's in Japan at the same time. Russia just sent Tu-95 bombers, sending a strong, very powerful message out there. So here's a picture. So Japan's defense ministry said Russia deployed 2 bombers and 2 fighter jets over the Sea of Japan, also known as the East Sea in South Korea, on Friday. The aircraft were tracked flying off the coast of Hokkaido and Honshu, Japan's 2 main islands. The Tu-95 bombers on the right, that's a big plane with a big massive propeller. So multiple propellers. All right, so you got Japan aircraft is right. No, actually, is that Russia aircraft? Is that Russia's? I see the red star here. I think that's Russia's too, if I'm not mistaken. Russia has the red star on their wing. While the Russians' military flight remain outside Japan's airspace, which extend up to about 13.8 miles from the coastline, the fighter jets were seen carrying missiles under their wings, according to photos and a map released by the Japan's defense ministry. Man, they had missiles and stuff. That's crazy. So the Russian Defense Ministry confirmed that the flight near Japan on Friday, saying that the Tu-95M bombers were escorted by Su-35S and Su-30SM fighter jets during their more than 11-hour flight over what it called the neutral waters of the Sea of Japan. Without specifying the countries of origin, the Russian military ministry said foreign fighter jets were scrambled to identify the Russian aircraft on parts of their flight, adding that the flight was in strict compliance with international airspace rules. Now, according to the Federation of American Scientists, the Tu-95MS bomber can carry nuclear air-launched cruise missiles during a Russian strategic forces exercise on October the 22nd. The same type of bomber was deployed and launched cruise missiles. These are the same bombers that is being used in the war with Ukraine. It says here, following the deployment of Tu-95MS bombers, Japanese fighter jets intercepted a second Russian military flight by an I-20 reconnaissance aircraft over the Sea of Japan on Saturday, flying from north to south of the coast of Hokkaido and Honshu. Here's the map on the left side. So what people are saying. The Russian Defense Ministry said in a statement on Friday, the Russian long-range aviation crews regularly conduct patrols over the neutral waters of the Arctic, the Northern Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the Black Sea, and the Baltic Sea. All flights by aircraft of the Russian Aerospace Forces are in strict compliance with international rules for using airspace. That's fine. That's, again, they broke nothing there. There's no law broken. The problem is they did this while Trump is out there. You know, they would have waited until the Donald left or go, just another region. Japan's Defense White Paper 2025 commented, the Russian military is continuing active military activities in the vicinity of Japan and its surrounding areas, showing its tendency to deploy the latest military equipment in the Far East. Russia's military activity in the Indo-Pacific region, including Japan, coupled with its strategic partnership with the Red Dragon, opposing a strong security concerns. So what happens next? It remains to be seen whether the Russian military will increase its activities near Japan to test its defenses as the U.S. ally conducts a large-scale war game across the country. All right. So once again, guys, some very, very important news here. All right. So Trump is out there. Give me a second here. All right. Man, they make you sure that man has extra security. Wow. What in the world is that? So I have no idea what that thing was. But yeah, that's a lot of security. Jeez. Man. Welcome to Japan, Mr. Donald. I'm very honored to see you for the first time in my life. I'm very honored to see the U.S. Commander and the motorcade for the first time in my life. It says here, Japan welcomes Trump with U.S. flag colors across Tokyo skyline. The U.S. president arrived in Tokyo on Monday for a 2-day official visit, the second stop of his three-nation Asia tour. To mark the occasion, Tokyo Tower, Tokyo Skytree, and Tokyo City Hall were illuminated in the colors of the U.S. flag, transforming the city skyline into a glowing tribute to the visiting American president. All right. So they showing their respect to the commander, to a U.S. president. All right. So yeah. So I would keep you updated on all this news here, guys. But yeah, those Russians, they did send something. They sent some very powerful, very loud. Those are some very loud bombers. All right. Those propellers make a lot of noise. The Tu-95 bombers flew near Japan, while the Donner is also out there too. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and share, and check out the videos I posted today. The links will be in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.